Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But look at the characteristics of God, right? God is a loving God, but yet God is a warrior. He will protect his people. He did protect his people. And the same is true in the New Testament. Right? He did it through his son, David. For us, he does that through his son, Jesus Christ. And all those things that we read about in Scripture about David as a warrior, well, Christ is our warrior. What did he do right after his baptism? He met the enemy face to face. Vulnerable. Was Christ vulnerable after that? Right? 40 days, 40 nights in the wilderness, and then he met up with Satan. Was that a battle? Absolutely. And we know Christ won that battle. That's only a smidgen of what Christ does as a warrior on behalf of those whom he loves. David's the same way. Okay? The author states, when he's looking at the children of Israel, he says that the people of God are prone to idolatry and sin, as can be seen in the repeating cycle of sin. Peace, disobedience, disciplinary, salvation, peace. And that we read that throughout the Judges. Okay? Anytime I read that book, it's just, I'm shaking my head at the community and how they were, right? And I look at myself and I shake my head because I'm no different. No different, right? There's peace, obedience, and then I get a wild hair in my head and off I go on my little tangent and thinking I know best. And I don't know how many times, and if anybody's ever done this, but I have asked for discipline in my disobedience from God, because I know I need it. And in his loving way, he takes care of that, straightens me out, and there's peace and harmony. So we're still very much like the children of Israel in that way, in our own personal lives, right? But that just means that God needs to raise up a leader on a regular basis for the children of Israel. And that's what we see through the Judges. But for us, he's raised up his son. Right? And even in the depths of our despair, we need to force ourselves to go back in and read Scripture. Because that's where we find the discipline. That's where we find God's love, his faithfulness to us as his children in the midst of our disobedience. Right? And when I see that love, then I can go back to him. Where do we find this about David? Because I see this in David as well. The Psalms. Look at the Psalms. Take time to read the Psalms slowly. And you'll see that in David. That he's on the high and his Psalms are wonderful and beautiful. And he's running from Saul. He's scared for his life. He's introspective and looking at his life, and he's down here, but he holds on to God, and God brings him out of the valley of the shadow of death. Many times, right? And you find that in the Psalms. Very, very powerful insight into the life of David and his faith and his introspection of himself in his relation to his God. Yeah. Yes. Kind of makes you wonder a little bit about Christ's prayers to his Father that we read about in the New Testament, right? When he goes off to a solitary place early in the morning, people are looking for him, and where is he at? He's out praying. Yeah. Beautiful pictures. Beautiful pictures. Well, we're a little past time. Thank you for listening. Hopefully this kind of gets you a little bit more interested in looking deeper into David and his importance in the life of Christ and the life of us as Christians. Thank you.